Good afternoon, everybody. This is Kathy L. Murphy, the Pulpwood Queen, and I'm here today with a Blue Sky author, a Pulpwood Queen author, and one that I just met for the first time this past January at our annual conference called Girlfriend Weekend. I have literally dubbed Marilyn Simon Rothstein the book club comedian because her books, she's got two, Husband and Sharper Objects and Lift and Separate. I keep going back and back to them because it's really easy for someone's book to make you cry. But to get somebody to write in a way that makes you laugh out loud and laugh out loud hard, that you spit your coffee across your computer screen, those are treasures. So I'm introducing today Marilyn Simon Rothstein. She is coming in. Where are you at today, Marilyn?
I'm in Wells, Maine, and that's in southern Maine.
Yes.
And I'm at a block from the beach.
Oh my.
And it is really cold, really, really cold.
Really?
Yes, yes. The winds are blowing, and it's just been really cold today. But I'm so glad to be here, Kathy, because when we met in Jefferson,
yes,
it was almost the last thing I did before COVID.
No lie.
Right? I mean, it was like this weekend last year, and I had such a blast that if anyone is even thinking about going next year, because this year we're virtual, which I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
You really have to go, because I can't even explain what a party it was.
Well, it's true. Nobody can really describe it. And it's been one of these grassroots things that when we first started meeting, I had a hair salon bookstore. And when I opened my hair salon bookstore, I invited in, after this article that was in Oxford American Magazine, I invited in all my authors that I was featuring in the store throughout the year for a year-end party. And we held the event in my front yard under tents in my driveway. And I think we had 50 authors and 50 attendees. I mean, it was the craziest thing. And we really just took over kind of the town. And for 3 years, I did it in my yard. And then I got talked into moving my shop into downtown historic Jefferson. And I actually moved twice, once from a downtown business into a old gas station. And when I went through my divorce, I closed it. But that's another story. But I started this thing as just a way to keep myself in business. It was not a planned or a marketing genius event. It was just a way to survive. I had lost my job as a book publisher's rep, and I had decided that I needed to keep my hand in books. So I called my sister and I go, what am I going to do? I did a bookstore plan, and it just wasn't going to work. The community couldn't support a bookstore. And she goes, well, do hair too. And it's just like bells and whistles went off. And I thought, well, I'll start this hair salon bookstore. And that, you guys, is what got the media attention. And it just took off. Within just a few months, I was on the Oprah Winfrey, Oxygen Network, Good Morning America came calling. I was on there 3 times. Los Angeles Times came and sent a reporter who follow me around to all my book clubs. And it just has grown and grown and grown to now we're the largest meeting and discussing book club in the world that involves our authors. That's very important, because to me, in order to fully understand a book, you need to have the author in the conversation, because you get so many insights. Like Marilyn, we've talked about, your sense of humor is priceless. And so I ride the roads with these authors and they tell me incredible stories. And I thought, well, shoot, I need to start a Kathy L. Murphy channel and start interviewing these authors. And so the people can really hear the story behind the story, because then the full picture comes into view and there's a better understanding and a better relationship between the author and the reader. So that's how it all began.
When I was in Jefferson and I got to meet so many readers because there were hundreds of readers.
Yes.
And not only at the convention center, but I'd go into town to have a cup of coffee and I'd have 5 readers sitting with me.
Right.
They'd just come over and we would have this wonderful conversation. And that'll all be back next year. But this year, how did you come to decide to do what you are doing?
Well, it's because of authors like you. I am an idea person, and I think so outside the box, there is no box. And I knew that I really didn't understand how you could do a virtual conference. I kind of checked some things out. But it's really you, Marilyn, because you said, hey, you need to check out this conference that went virtual. And I go, well, I just don't know how I could support myself with this thing because, I couldn't figure out I couldn't have vendors, I couldn't have book sales. There's a lot of things that go into running the conference. And you go, well, charge the authors. And I said, well, I cannot charge the authors. And you, sure you can.
No authors will be talking to me, giving out that advice.
Well, the thing about it is, when you come on board to the Pulpwood Queens, I have been doing this for free for 20 years. I have been promoting authors, sharing posts, doing videos, and I'm now 64 and I have no retirement. So I have got to figure out a way to keep afloat and still do what I love, which is promoting all of you. So I charged the least amount I could. And by doing that, I was able to work 24/7 on this event and make sure that everybody would get featured, everybody would get lots of coverage. And I've been working now on advertising and media and podcasts and Zoom meetings and everything I can to bring my authors into the light in a world where we're all stuck in the back of the cave. And I mean, it is 300,000 books are coming out. Well, it's probably more than that now because people are really writing. But I know myself, I got so many books this year and I can only pick 12 books, 1 book a month. So what I do is this year, because we're an international book club and we literally have authors and members from all over the world, I decided that we would become more global, more diverse. We put the international in our name, which is what we are, and we would blast this out to the world by doing this Zoomathon. And I'm a work in progress on the technology. Every night I'm on YouTube watching videos, educating myself on how to do Zoom. I was just telling Marilyn before we went live on this show, my computer crashed this holiday, right as I'm putting the program together. So I quickly order a computer online, which I'm not used to doing. I'm used to going in and buying it and they download everything on your computer for you. Can't do it with COVID. So I ordered this computer. This is my first Zoom meeting. So it is, I guess, I learn everything by my mistakes. I do them once, and then once I get it going, but it's all about making the connections with each other. And I have to tell you, Marilyn, I've talked to you more than I've talked to most doctors in an entire year, because during COVID, I'm home and I can get on Zoom or get on FaceTime or get on the phone, and I'm talking more to authors and I'm learning who they are as people even more than when we actually met in person. So I have to say, I've really used this time of social distancing to really connect with lots and lots of my authors and book club members. And I think this is our future, you guys. So as weird and as change is, we have to learn to embrace it. And I am embracing it. And like I said, I'm an old dog learning new tricks. So it's a work in progress. Like right now, we're going to have everybody talk at the end. But right now, Marilyn and I are just going to be doing the talking because we have people jumping on board left and right. This is fantastic. So go ahead, Marilyn.
I wasn't popular in high school, but here I'm popular.
Well, you know what? This is
More people
really
coming on.
this is really important to say to all of you that are listening and who will be listening when I download this onto my Kathy L. Murphy YouTube channel. I am an introvert. I was the kid with my nose stuck in the book. I mean, my best friend now runs the library in my hometown of Eureka, Kansas. She too was a reader. And I was always odd because I don't dress right. I dress so weird. I like to dress up every day in a costume. I don't know what this is, urban cowboy. I don't know what it is, but I like to dress up as the characters that I've read in my book. And I'm also an artist. So everything that I paint and everything that I create in multimedia and all the different aspects of art that I do comes from those stories that I read growing up in my imagination. I never really outgrew being a child that way. I got a lot of flack for people telling me that um, you need to grow up. You need to learn, be in the real world. And quite frankly, I don't want to be in the real world right now. I want to be in your world. I want to be in the world of books and the world of talking with my authors about the stories. And through this process, I watched a wonderful documentary called, let me think, I think it's Finding Joe. It's about Joe Campbell and the mythology and the power of the myth and the hero's journey. And it talks about in the world what has connected us, and what connects us today is all the religions and myths. The repetition of the story from Native American Indians to Indians is just uncanny. And it's all these connections. And this all was really popular years and years ago, but I wasn't ready for it. And I'm ready for it now. So I'm here to be the great connector and to tell everybody, no matter where you are, where you live, where you come from, your economic background, your education, your religion, your culture, we all connect when we share our stories because we walk, quote Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, when you walk around in somebody else's shoes for a while, you start beginning to understand the way other people think. Think about your own families. And I grew up with two sisters. None of us have the same story. I mean, we all go, how did Grandma Chisholm die? And we all have a different story. And nobody to this day really knows what she died of. We've heard of a broken heart. She, threw out her hip, just a million different stories, but she lived a good life. She was a wonderful great grandma to me. And, but we couldn't even in my own family figure out which was the right story because we all had different versions of it. So how is that going to be any different with people that are complete strangers or from other countries or people? Well, the only way we can understand and accept our differences is to sit down and have a civil conversation. And I'm all about civility and good manners and accepting people's differences, even when they're not the same as your own. Because I have friends from all types of religions, and I grew up in a little town in Kansas. I didn't have a big worldly view. I went to a state university in Kansas. Let me tell you, it was called the Goat Roper College, So I have been since then to 7 universities and got my degree, but I have learned that if you want to have a wonderful life, expand your worlds through reading. Reading is the great connector. And so that's what my mission is to connect all of us. And if we'll all just work together. Marilyn, there was a story of a little fish in the ocean, and he was swimming along and got eaten by a great big shark. And another little fish was watching, and he said, hey, to all his other little fishy friends, he said, let's all get together when we go out. And so they swam together in the shape and the form of a shark. And the shark just went right by them thinking it was another shark. When we all work together as a people, there's so much we can accomplish for the good of the world. But if we all try to have our own agenda and do it, this is what I do, and buy into their own ego, and you may get success in life, but you're going to be alone at the top. I'm taking everybody with me. I mean, I want us all. That's why I have this party every year, so I can be with my best friends and new ones. And so here we are, everybody.
This party that you're having was, I think, 2 days when it was live event, right? And I actually wore a bra over my dress to go to that thing. I still don't believe it.
Well, you'll see a lot of things at Girlfriend Weekend that you probably would never do.
That I don't believe I did. Okay, you're right.
It was adorable. You had it over a turtleneck, didn't you? It was fine.
Of course. And it wasn't really my bra, because my bra would have been my whole body. I got a bikini bra. But here's what I want to ask you.
Oh, you're funny.
What is going on at the virtual Pulpwood Queen Festival? Who are the authors that you want to talk about right now? Name drop. And what are the kind of panels that I would get to go to? Because of course I'm speaking, but I'm signed up for the whole conference.
I'm on a Zoom one.
Well, I have you signed up. I have everybody coming on board and getting the panels, because if they're participatory. Okay, somebody's talking. I'm getting feedback from someone. Anyway, I invite everybody into the entire event, because you cannot participate by just coming in and doing one event and leaving. You're not going to get anything from this event if you do that. So the reason why I insist everybody get a package is I want you to sit in for the whole thing, because you are going to be amazed. The authors that we have speaking, Marilyn is a keynote. She was the first.
Everybody just come for that.
It's worth it just to hear you speak, because you're fantastic. But some of our other keynote speakers are New York Times bestselling. I always bring in some New York Times bestselling authors, because I want them to be a draw for people who don't know all the authors that I have. Then once they get in and they hear the other authors, I can't tell you how many people, the first time Jeanette Walls came to Girlfriend Weekend, nobody knew who she was. Nobody knew the Glass Castle. But the third time she came, everybody knew who she was. She'd gone to film. I mean, it's amazing. And I can give you list after list of authors who have come: Lisa Wingate, Elizabeth Gilbert, Alice Hoffman. I mean, we've had Pat Conroy, John Barrett, Fannie Flagg. We always try to bring in the big authors. So this year we have Adriana Trigiani coming in. We have The Mighty Blaze, which is New York Times Carolyn Leavitt and Jenna Blum. And we have Mary Morris, who is incredible. We have the Pat Conroy Center. Jonathan Hote, who's the executive director, is coming in. And my agent, Marley Rusoff of Marley Rusoff Literary Agency in New York, who's going to give a wonderful workshop on Sunday on the landscape of publishing in New York now, which every author has to hear that, because she studied under Nan Talese. She has international clients from around the world. She's the one that started the not-for-profit The Loft in Minneapolis. She is probably one of the leaders in literacy today, and Jonathan Hote. We have so many bloggers coming in that are doing such great work around the country. Eileen Sanchez from Prose in the Pandemic. We've got Annie McDonald in New York for the Right Review, and the Right Review Book Club is coming in. We have here in Texas, Susan Peterson, who runs huge blog called Sue's Reading Neighborhood. Next year, I'm even going to be bringing in some more. Some of those bloggers are going to be at our event as an author, but next year they're going to be bringing in panels. The thing about my Girlfriend Weekend is that all these are listed on the Pulpwood Queen website, www.pulpwoodqueens.com. We have the program, we have the blog, we have everything you can possibly imagine on that website is what is going to be brought into everything that you need to know. And I only have 2 pages now, one for the authors private group, which if you're not on, join the 2021 International Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys author page, because that's where I'm posting updates. And then for my book club, I have 1 page now, the International Pulpwood Queens and Timber Guys Book Club Reading Nation. I streamlined because I was running 17 pages. 17 pages. And I don't know about y'all, but that was a lot of work. And I love being on this, but being on social media 24/7 is not the way I want to end the rest of my life. I want to have a life. So please join those pages. Please email me at thepulpwoodqueen@gmail.com if you have any questions. And for all the authors that are here today, on Sunday before Girlfriend Weekend, we're going to do a Zoom-a-thon, Zoom meeting of everybody as a test to make sure that everybody can get on board. And I've got to figure out still with this new system how to only have the author speaking at the time, or the panel of authors speaking at the time during this broadcast. So I'm learning. So that's what we're having, and it's amazing. I invite people to the party that I most want to hear. And
what, Kathy, what if someone has not been invited to the party because they just found out about you? How would an author get in touch with you about reading their book and maybe being a book of the year next year? What should they do?
All they have to do is go to the website and go to book club selections. And on there is the submission guidelines, where to send the book, what you need to do. And I don't send the books back, because to send 600 and some books back would cost me an arm and a leg. I donate those to little free libraries and to usually the University of Texas Library in Tyler, Texas. They're donated, they're not sold. So they go to good causes. I used to donate them to the Pulpwood Queens, and then a few of them started selling them on eBay. So I try to get them out to places where they won't be sold, but where they'll be read by a lot of people. So that's all you have to do, is go to the book club selection page on my website, and everything's there. And you can always email me. I may not get back with you like that minute. People always think I just sit on the phone waiting for their call. I've got so much going on right now. I'm working with the bookstore. I'm working with the Pat Conroy Center. I'm doing podcasts and Zoom meetings left and right, trying to get the word out on this event. And I do this because this is what I love to do. I mean, I love to share your stories. That's how they do it. If you want to come to Girlfriend Weekend, just go to the website and become a member. And you can become a regular book club member and just watch our online book club meetings, which are going to be every Tuesday night this year. And I put the post of those meetings up on my International Book Club page. Or you can become an international author. We have to charge more because it costs a lot to ship to other countries. And then we have a author membership, and that's really cool, because even if I don't pick your book this year, we feature you on our newsletter, and that newsletter goes around the world. So that's a big plus. And we started because the publishers asked me if I had a publisher membership, and I go, well, no. And so we have a publicist publisher membership where you can promote 5 of your authors on our newsletter and send me the books so that I can look at them under one membership. And then if you have a membership, then you get the early bird price for the ticket, which it's for all members, it's $199 for 2 days. And then it goes up to $299. So I've been telling everybody every day, get your package now, because just hearing Marilyn alone is worth the $199.
Listen, here's the thing. Blocking time is so hard. Do you have to listen to everything right then and there?
No, because what's going to happen, just like this meeting, it's being recorded and I posted on my Kathy L. Murphy YouTube channel. And all you have to do is hit subscribe and it's free. I mean, you don't have to pay anything to join my channel, but only the people that paid for Girlfriend Weekend will be able to see at first the entire program at their leisure. Eventually, I will make them all public so that we can share with the world all of your stories. But at first, we're just going to make it available to the people. But you can, if you have to get up and go fix your family dinner or something and you miss a couple panels, it's going to be on the channel. You can go back and watch it and your name will be able to get into the private group. So, because I'll put you there.
You can watch it at your leisure.
Yeah. So I'm going to be sitting here for 4 days, people. I just want you to know I'm running this whole thing. So for 4 days in my pajamas, I'm going to be introducing you or introducing the moderator of your panel, and then they run it. And while they're running it, I'm going to be grabbing a bite in the kitchen or answering emails or whatever. But it's just me at the house running this whole thing for 4 days. And everybody goes, do you think it'll be easier? And I go, no, because we added all day Thursday and all day Sunday to get everybody in this year, because everybody came to me and said, help, my book died on the vine. What can I do? And I go, well, let me see what I can do to help you. Let's get you on board. So, and I've never had more authors, especially from out of the country, come and say, I want to be featured on this virtual thing. Like David Valdez is in New York and he's a playwright and he's written over 20 plays. And he said, you're doing this virtual? Would you like me to do a writer's workshop? I go, oh my gosh, David. He is so talented. And this is all a part of your package. You get to watch all of this. And David is, pretty well known in the New York City area with his plays. They play all over. And he's a wonderful author and a very talented friend. And and then I have Boo Walker's coming from Spain. He said, I couldn't come last year because I moved to Spain, but I could do this. Of course, he's going to have to, I think, get up in the middle of the night to do his panel. But I have Simon & Schuster sending me an author from Paris, France. So I think that even though next year we will hopefully be able to meet in person, because there's nothing like the actual event. We will be doing the virtual at the same time, because for those who can't, and a lot of my Pulpwood Queens are disabled and they physically just can't fly or travel or whatever. So this opens it up to a whole new world. And that's what I found with the online book club too. And you do not have to, if you're an introvert, and I have learned how to be, I flunked speech in high school, you guys, because I would just get up and quake and shake and go blank. But I am so passionate about what I'm doing that I have learned that it's important that I get over this fear. And I faced that fear a long time ago when I had to give a keynote speech at Book Expo in Miami. I think it was 4,000 children's booksellers. I'd won an award. And my knee was shaking so bad, the president of the Women's Book Council grabbed it and held it. So it was knocking the podium. And I started crying. It was really horrible. And afterwards they go, oh, I don't think anybody's ever been so passionate about a speech. And I go, you guys, I was just scared. And everybody goes, shh, don't tell anybody. But when I got home, I found out I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, who's now 26. So I've come a long way. I've come a long way in my speaking world, but I'm still that kid up in the treehouse reading the book, wanting to act out with my dogs, Tarzan. My dog was Cheetah. I wanted to be Tarzan. I'm still acting out all the stories in my mind, and I just want to play. And this is play for me. It's the party I want to most go to, and I'm so glad you're going to be a keynote, Marilyn, because it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
I can't wait. Kathy, you've told me stories that I love. And if I bring up a story and you don't want to tell it,
Okay.
okay, but
Uh-oh.
I'll never speak to you again. No. Tell us about when you moved to Jefferson, Texas,
Oh,
and you're invited to the book club.
oh,
Because
I
that's
didn't
how you got started.
put this in my book at the time, my first book, because I lived there. I don't live there anymore. And a lot of those people have passed on. But when I first moved to Jefferson, Texas, I moved there from San Diego, California. I was the counter manager for Elizabeth Arden. I had bleach blonde hair in a really long Bridget Nielsen flat top, super skinny, and I dressed very Californian, okay? Silver jackets, skinny jeans, and they had a coffee for me. And I remember, I won't say her name, but a Southern Belle lady from the town came up to me and she said, Kathy, she goes, tell me how you have adjusted to the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what she was talking about. And I go, I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time? She goes, how have you adjusted to the temperature? I mean, it's temperature, okay? And I was like, I'd never heard temperature said that way with so many syllables. And I said, oh my God, I moved here in January. It is too hot during the summer. If I'd known, I never would have moved here. And she goes, well, ever since the Wawa between the states. And I go, the Wawa. Oh, the Civil War? She go, and she was making all these Civil War references. And I go, you're talking about back in, the 1800s about the Civil War? I go, well, Jefferson is like stepping back in the past, but I think we only covered the Civil War for maybe 3 days in third grade. I don't remember ever talking about it. Maybe a little bit in Constitution. I don't know, when we got into the slavery issues, but I didn't remember. And I learned right away, I better take some Texas history and get busy on it. And I have. I've taken every history course to learn all about, what went on in Texas, and had some wonderful professors. But what happened was when I opened my hair salon and started the book club, everybody thought it was a joke because they saw me as this Californian, and I'm not Californian, I'm from Kansas, okay? And they saw me as this Californian hairdresser. What could she know about reading? So, and then we got all this attention. I had John Grisham's magazine coming to interview me, Oxford American. I had, Oprah, and just all these people calling. And so the local book club invited me to come to their meeting. And I was so excited, you guys, because I knew all the garden club ladies and the ladies of the town. And I just thought what they had done to save Jefferson was just the most amazing and thrilling thing in the world. So I dressed up. I had on my, Sunday hat and gloves, and I had a dress on, and I went to this afternoon luncheon, and it was a 4-course meal in this plantation home, and it was lovely. And I was so excited. My kids were in school, and at the end of the meeting, we were all escorted into the parlor to have cordials. And I said, so what are we reading next month? I'm so excited because I think the book they read was Secret Life of Bees, which I'd read, I was excited about. And all of a sudden the hostess, who was a little bitty thing, jumped up, and everybody looked at her with kind of startled eyes. Has anybody seen The Help?
Yes, of course.
Okay. This was straight out of The Help moment, because I was escorted out into the hall by the elbow, and this woman whose home I was in whispered, I'm so sorry, Kathy. I think you've misunderstood. We didn't invite you to join our book club. We invited you to be a guest. Because you see, we only have 8 in our book club. And you would make 9, and that just doesn't fit very well around our table. Now, my mind's going, well, I fit around the table for this meeting. What, so, but I was really embarrassed. I was a lot, 20, 30 years younger than I am now. I was embarrassed. And I said, oh, I felt like I had barged into somebody else's party. And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course I'm a guest. Thank you for inviting me." And I go back in the room and nobody would make eye contact with me. And I knew these women. Some of them came into my salon to get their hair done and they wouldn't look at me. And I just said, "Oh my, look at the time. It's time to pick up the girls from school." So as I was driving home, I thought, and another thing she said to me before I left, she goes, "Unless somebody dies or moves away, that's the only way we could invite you into our book club." So as I was driving home, I thought, who made up that rule that there could only be 8 in a book club? And what exclusivity, I don't know, being a book person, I felt like that scene in Animal House where they put all the handicapped and oddball people in the side room at the frat, you know, uh, rush parties and stuff. I I just always have been kind of an outsider, and it really kind of made me mad. So I thought about it, and I thought, well, I'm going to start my own book club, and it's going to be an inclusive book club. And anybody who wants to be in my book club can be in it as long as they wear the crown and read the books. And when I say that, I see Doug Thomas sitting there. I say that, wear the crown, you can wear a gimme cap if you want. I say that figuratively, but what I mean is that, for the girl who wasn't the beauty queen, and you weren't included because your parents' genetics weren't what people qualify as beautiful in the world. It's all in my book. I think that we're beautiful within because we're readers and we're educating ourselves. And don't we all deserve to be treated fairly and the same? So wear that crown and wear it proudly. And I also believe sincerely that I'm a champion for the underdogs, for the people who don't have the voice for themselves. And I can get quite loud now. I'm very vocal about people discluding people. So it will be in my next book, which I'm finishing up now. It's called The Pulpwood Queen Goes Back to School, because I think when you're younger, you don't always have your voice, but I think there are times in your life where you have to say is, "I don't understand," and explain that to me in front of everybody. And if somebody did that to me today, I'd say, "You invited me, why? Why did you invite me?" And you know what? That next book club meeting, we got featured on Good Morning America, and they all showed up and joined my book club so they could be on television with me. And it just cracked me up. And they said, "Well, why did you let them in your book club?" And I go, "Because this world is about loving one another, even if they don't think the same as you. Take the high road, people." I mean, you know, I think it's really sad that they lead such small lives and only want to be in that little clique. Because my world is very rich because I have so many friends from literally everywhere. And it's because, we may not all have the same values, the same beliefs, but I respect your opinion because we're just all meant here to love everybody. We're just here to love everybody. So I am thankful you asked me that story, and I don't have any problem telling it.
I, I just you have so many stories, so many wonderful stories,
Oh,
but we're almost out of time. So I just want to tell everybody, you all know I hardly ever go on Zoom because, I'm just too shy and demure to do that. But I had to go on with Kathy because I want everybody to know about her Pulpwood. It's not a weekend, Pulpwood 4 days. And to meet Kathy, if you haven't met her before, what a treat. I say to her that the first time I met her, I felt like I knew her in 5 other lives. All were in good places, in good times, no suffering. And really go to her page and find out there's over 50 authors speaking and publishing professionals. And like she said, you can watch it whenever you want. So Kathy, thank you so much for coming on Blue Sky.
well, I have to thank you and the we've got lots of Blue Sky writers and authors that are going to be on and we're going to be doing another Zoom with them too. But what I want to say to everybody, and I'm not going to let you go without you telling a little bit about yourself, because Marilyn, you are a treasure. And I posted that photo you sent me of back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And if you did not see it on Facebook, you'll have to go back or look on the Blue Sky page, but you're sitting behind a typewriter.
Yes, I was working at an advertising agency.
Yes. And you have all this amazing background in writing. You've worked for magazines. Tell us a little bit about your background for those. When we put this on YouTube, all of you guys may know, Marilyn, but people on YouTube are not going to know. So you're going to speak. And again, for everybody listening, I call her the book club comedian because she's so funny. If you are having a bad day, I highly recommend you read her books over and over and over because they're a hoot. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into this writing world?
I was born a writer. I'm incapable of doing anything else is the problem. Okay. I mean, this is the problem. I think I first remember wanting to write in third grade. There was a teacher named Mrs. Mincer, and she put a box by the radiator and said, anytime you want, you can put something in the box. Well, that was it. I never listened to another word that went on in that class. I would just sit there writing these poems. My first poem.
Oh, no.
I'm going to say it.
I'll say it.
I'm going to say it. If I had one wish, it would be a dog with a dish. A puppy of white would be just right, which was all a lie because, you know, when Hemingway says, write something true, because I was petrified of dogs. But I like the way it sounded. Then after a while, I thought, she's
You're a fiction writer.
She's going to get on to me and know that I'm sitting all day and writing poems and not paying any attention. So I would start sneaking the poems into the box. Like, who did I think she thought was putting these poems in there? I don't know. But that's the first I remember of wanting to write. And I always wanted to write a novel. I wrote a novel in college. I wrote another novel when I was about 35 and went for a master's degree at Wesleyan University in Connecticut.
Wow.
And got an agent for that novel literally overnight. I mailed it and the next day I had a phone call. She sent it out and I get like rejections, but I don't understand that every rejection comes with a note about if I fix it up and if I do this or I do that, they'd like to see it again. Well, I didn't know that that meant like fix it up and send it back. So I just put it in a drawer for 20 years.
Oh my God.
And you'd be amazed that you can't get a book published if you keep it in a drawer.
No.
It's not going to happen. Okay. So later on in life, about another 20 years after that, I decided to, I wanted to get published. I had written 2 books. I didn't want to just write a book. I wanted to get a book published. And that's when I wrote Lift and Separate, which took a very, very long time to write. And, you know, as everyone who's tried to publish a first novel knows, it's very, very hard to get an agent. Getting an agent is the hardest part of the experience. But I was lucky to get one, and I got a 2-book deal with Lake Union, and it all started. And that's when I was 63 years old. So all I can say to everybody is just keep going.
That's right.
Because it really gave me a new lease on life. You know, I was always funny at the table, but my kids were laughing, you know, or they'd come home from school and I'd say, if you're going to tell me a story, make it funny. Like, don't bore me here. Okay. So out of that, my oldest daughter became a playwright. So, but it wasn't until I started speaking that people would say the kind of things you're saying. And I'd be like, Really? I didn't even know that it was that funny.
I
So,
cannot tell you, I have to interrupt. I cannot tell you how many people say, oh my gosh, this woman needs to get out there on the comedy circuit. You're hilarious. And
well,
you're fantastic. Just keep going.
well, people keep telling me when I see places, they go, have you considered being a stand-up comedian? And to be honest, I say to them, no, because I don't like to stand up. And, and that is the truth. I'd much rather sit. So, but that's how I get started. And I just never give up, because you don't know if the next day. I could have given up on Lift and Separate. I could have just said, okay, you go in the drawer too, keep the other one company, but I didn't. I kept changing and I kept working on it. And if a agent was interested and they said, well, this is good, but I'd consider it. And if I thought I should change it, I'd change it for the next place I sent it. So that's my advice to everyone is just keep going.
Do you
And
still have those first two books?
yes, I do. Yes, I
I
do.
want to read them.
Oh, okay, you're in. So
I
that's it.
want to read them.
Me. Let's call it a day, and it's always great talking to you.
Okay. Do we have any questions or anything? Everybody want to unmute? And any questions for Marilyn before we go or anything?
I have a question. I have a question for you and for Marilyn. And again, I want to thank both of you for uplifting me and encouraging me and empowering me during this time. I really appreciate both of you so much. My question is, this is going to be my first Pulpwood Queens weekend. And I know it's virtual, and I have been looking at tiaras. I get the significance of the tiara. I actually have now bought 2 new pairs of pajamas and 3 nightgowns. I can't wear them all. What is the significance of the night clothes?
The night clothes is kind of, we don't take ourselves very seriously, Meryl. We do take our books. And I just thought, since we're all at home in our pajamas anyway, why not just have a pajama party? And that's why I've been sharing the crazy Annette Funicello movie Pajama Party, where they're dancing around the pool. We just, during Girlfriend Weekend, we have lots of shenanigans. Okay. We have costume contests and everything. And I just thought, I want everybody to send me a picture of them when they're in their pajamas, or do a video, and I'm going to share them, because the best thing about Girlfriend Weekend is Saturday night we have this great big ball of hairball. And we started out having live bands, and then everybody hated the music, so we just do songs we love. And there's no slow songs, it's all dance music. And we all get out on the dance floor, and we have kids that'll be 20s, and then we've got the 90-year-old woman with the big hair out on the dance floor dancing with them. And the look on these women and kids' faces, they go, the kids tell me, you are the coolest group of people I've ever seen in my life. And the older people go, I haven't danced in 60 years. My husband never danced. And this is so much fun. We're here a short period of time on this planet. And if you aren't following your bliss and doing things that bring you joy and happiness, then you need to change it today. Because I'm telling you, if one thing COVID has taught me, I've got, I think, 30 friends now with COVID. And seriously, some of them are in bad shape, is that we're still here. And that is something we need to think about, because they're saying 1 out of every, how many people? 1 out of every, I think 100,000 people have died so far this year.
One out of every 1,000, Kathy.
Huh?
1 out of every 1,000 in the
1 out
state.
of every 1,000. Okay, well, I got the zeros definitely wrong. But you think about that. Why are we still here? And if we are still here, what good are we putting out into the world to make this better so that things like this will, you know, our next generations, you know, I've got a new grandson and all I can think about, what's his world going to be like? You know, it makes me really sad. And I think if I can't do one good thing each day, then I've got to be here for a reason. So I put a lot of stuff out there for the world because I want to inspire. I want people to make the choice that, you know, not to dwell on those little crazy things that drive you nuts, but to really dwell on the sun is shining outside today. It's actually shirt sleeves weather here. I've got the screen doors open. Can you believe that in Texas? And it was freezing the other day, but we're here for a reason. And that's why it's so important to me that we have fun with what we're doing. I go to book festivals all the time, Meryl. I have for 30 some years. And some of them are so dry, I'm just like trying to keep awake. And mine's not dry, is it, Marilyn? We have something crazy happen every 5 minutes. We had a Dolly Parton lookalike contest last year because we read a book, What Would Dolly Do? And that author is back with another great book this year called Bookish Broads, you know, women who are changing the world. I think that it's important that as we grow older that we also learn how to play and we also learn how to have fun and enjoy the company of being with others. You know, you can go back to any culture in the world and they all gathered together and had around the fire and danced and sang and feasted. You know, people aren't doing that anymore. So we do that. We have our author dinner usually, Meryl, where the authors wait the tables and I make them dress in costumes. Last year, I told all the authors, we come, one year they came all as clowns because it was circus. One year they came all as Charlie Chaplins because we had the Pulpwood Queens go Hollywood. One year we all came as Pat Conroy. We wore khaki pants and blue shirts because we wanted to do a tribute to him. He was my favorite author's body of work. And then last year we came as lumberjacks. And two of the girls came in full beards. It was awesome. I've never laughed so hard in my life looking at these outfits. And Marilyn, you were awesome. You got into it.
Well, I came dressed as a lumberjack the day I waited tables.
Mm-hmm.
And then the party, the great hairball, was when I was wearing bras around my neck. And people were dressed to the costumes that people wore at these things. First rate.
Well, I had met out in at a book festival in Los Angeles or San Jose. I met Phil Duran, who wrote all the sitcoms from the 90s and 80s. He wrote, you know, All in the Family, Sanford and Son, The Wonder Years. And I invited Phil in because he'd written The Reluctant Tuscan and about his wife buying a home in Italy and said, we're going to go live in Italy. And he came. And when he came, I said, well, you actually used to work on Saturday Night Live and stuff. So we're going to do a skit, Phil, and you're going to be the director. And all the authors are going to play the Saturday Night Live characters that I've created. And we're going to do a skit and it's going to be called The Okra Show. And I played Okra and River Jordan played me. And I had James Fried. I had all these people that Oprah had on her show. And I even had, instead of her best friend, we had another author who played, you know, her best friend that's in her magazine all the time. But we did this takeoff and he said, improv, total improv. I gave him the basic outline of the show and we're all going to go on and you just wing it. And afterwards, he's dancing out there with like 50 girls. And he said, I've been to every party in Los Angeles. I've been to the Academy Awards, the Vanity Fair parties. He said, I've been to every type of gala you can go to. But I honestly will tell you, Kathy, I've never had more fun than I had at your dance than I've had at anything I've ever done. And I said, it's because we all get to an age where we're all so fearful we're not wearing the right thing, or, oh, what will they say? And this is one time where you get a timeout. You can wear whatever you want. I mean, I had one girl come, I had a theme that was How the West Was Won, and she came dressed as like a storybook character, and I was going, well, I just can't. I was like Madeline or one of the storybook, and I go, I have no idea how that ties into How the West Was Won. And she goes, me either, but I've always wanted to wear this costume. And it's just, one lady came as an 80-some-year-old bride because she always wanted to wear the wedding dress. And it's just what we do. There is no right or wrong. There's no rule.
What I'm picturing though is being the convenience store worker down the street as you guys are going in and coming out, going, oh my God, what is going on?
They know that they know that Pulpwood's in town.
Yeah, I bet.
I had the screenwriter who's been working on my book to film, because I optioned my book to DreamWorks. Claire Sarah come one year, and she dressed, I forgot what our theme was, but she came dressed as Holly Golightly from
Breakfast.
Breakfast at Tiffany's, and she looked the part. And we had the ball out in this big party barn outside of Nacogdoches, and it was hard to find, let me tell you, because I went to it during the day, and she got lost. And she stopped at this filling station, and she said, I went in, I said, and the guy just said, he didn't say a word. He just said, okay, you're going to go down to the next corner, you're going to turn right, and then you'll see the entrance. It'll be all lit up. But he didn't even bat an eye that she was dressed like Audrey Hepburn and she said, that was the funnest party I've ever been to in my life. But evidently a lot of people stopped at this gas station. and Jefferson, we had it there for so many years that people know that when Girlfriend Weekend, we kind of take over the town. And I'm sorry that it's not going to be back there, but it's, there's no convention centers that's safe right now. So we're doing it virtually. Yeah. So.
Thank
Any other questions, Meryl? Just don't forget the Sunday before at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'll be sending you a Zoom. We're going to get everybody on to make sure that we can all navigate this. And there's going to be glitches. But if there's a glitch, all you have to do is just wait a second. We'll get it fixed and we'll move on. It happens every year. You can't help it, You just go with the flow. And I sweat bullets on the inside, but I can hide it pretty well. And I can't thank Marilyn enough for talking me into doing this crazy thing, because it really was Marilyn that was.
Okay, blame it on me.
I'm going to blame it on you all the way. And we're going to laugh every minute of it. And it may not go smooth and it may not go right, but we will have a good time. We will get your books out in the hands of good readers around the world, and just plan on having fun. Sleep ahead of time, because you're going to get hooked and you'll go, oh my God, I got to watch another panel, but you don't want to miss. You don't know what you might happen. Pat Conroy took his pants off one year. I mean, he goes, what do you mean? I was supposed to have a thing for the silent auction, and I wasn't even in the room when it happened. And he said, like what? And I said, you're supposed to donate a personal thing and autograph it, and this is what they told him. So he said, well, I'm famous for my khaki pants. I'll give them. Thank God he had on boxers, because he took them off in front of everybody in the convention center, flipped them on a table, signed them. And then his daughter signed him too, because she's an author. And they went for $1,000 in our silent auction. And at the end of the night, M.L. Malcolm, a New York or Washington, D.C. attorney, who's one of my authors, brought them to me with a bottle of wine. She said, nobody deserves Pat's pants more than you. And she gave them to me. But I will tell you that before Tawana died, we drove to Beaufort, South Carolina, and I had them shadow box with his books, and I donated them to the center, because it's stupid to have those pants hanging in my house and so the story's there.
Yeah.
And they're now in the Pat Conroy Center, which is my charity of choice. So when I say personal item, it can be a bra, Marilyn. You can sign a bra, and
My
we're
bra is
looking.
too big to go in a box. I can't send it.
But people, my favorite item that was ever auctioned off, and I'm so mad I didn't get it. I had this author, a wonderful Algonquin author. Oh gosh, Jim, I'm trying to think of Jim's last name. But anyway, I met him in New Orleans and he said, a personal item. Okay. He sent his high school diploma. You know how they come in those leather? He sent it and it was his high school diploma. And he said, well, you know, and it went for a lot of money. And I was just like, man, I really wanted that high school diploma. But it's just, that's how crazy it is. The crazier it is, the funny. People try to give nice gifts, but John Barrett gave me the leather satchel that he carried when he wrote Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. And then John Cusack, he carried it in the film. And it went for a lot of money. He signed it, the leather satchel. But there's a woman in Mount Pleasant, Texas, that has created in the basement of her house glass cases for the years of things she's bought at the Girlfriend Weekend. And I'm going to go this year and do a video tour to show everybody all the items that Becky McCullum has purchased through the years, autographed by our authors. She buys everything. So hopefully we'll make a lot of money for the Pat Conroy Center. And I'm thankful for all of you that are on board. Meryl, just hang on for the ride. Patricia, this is your first time. Doug, this is your first time. Mandy Hayes is helping me behind the scene, and this is her very first time. So
Wow.
there's going to be a lot of first time people.
The virgin.
Yeah, you all are virgins, like a virgin.
Oh, yeah.
I may have to have some playbacks in between, but
Well, with Zoom calls going on and everybody in pajamas, what Marilyn said a while ago, I wonder how many people are actually going to conk out over 4 days in their chair, you know.
well, you can kick that recliner back, Doug, take a snooze, and then just jump right back in.
Capture some pictures.
But if you miss anything, you'll be able to go to the YouTube channel. That's why you all need to go and subscribe. And then what I didn't tell everybody about is I'm also the director now of acquisitions for Lucid House Publishing in outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And we just released 5 books. Doug's is one of it. Knock Knock went #1 on Amazon in his category. I'm thrilled for you. I mean, how cool is that? All 5 of our books that we've released have gone in that 40 and up on Amazon. Can you believe that?
Fabulous.
We're hot, man. Lucid House is hot, and we've got 12 books coming out this year. So I've got that going on. I've got this going on. And I was going to tell you, I almost named my daughter Meryl because of Meryl Streep, or I thought Beryl because of Beryl Markham, which is one of my favorite West Into the Night. And she was one of my favorite women of the 40s who was in the same time frame as Karen Blixen of Out of Africa. I love that name. I think it's such a beautiful name. But I am thrilled to have all of you here with me. We'll be going now to record. This is all being recorded. I'll download it onto the YouTube channel, and I'll try to, I'll put it up on our page so you guys can share this interview with everybody. Any other questions?
Kathy, how are the sales going? Are we getting a good response?
You mean for people signing up for it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, very good. All my head queens are signing up. My book club members are maybe waiting to the last minute. I also have the feeling that some of them may be buying the package and then they're all watching it together.
Ah.
I don't care. Anything that gets you on board. But I will tell you that this will be blasted out over and over throughout the year. We will do everything we can to ensure Main Street Reads, who's handling the book sales, she is a publisher insider. She's just, Sherry Staunch is a promoter. She knows the book world better than anybody. If anybody can get your books out there, she will. She carries my Pulpwood Queen Book Club selections now, has them all up on her website that you can order, and she's working on my list for 2021 right now. She gives 10% discount. So if you ever need to order books from a bookstore, I highly recommend Main Street Reads in Somerville, which is outside of Charleston. And she's terrific. She'll be doing a panel of authors at the weekend too. So I love Sherry. She's amazing. And but if you haven't seen the full program, I go to book festivals everywhere, and usually I don't even get the program until I get there. So I think it's pretty amazing. I've had it up for some time. I keep tweaking it because I added an author who just finally confirmed today. So Joe Palmer.
Patricia is one of the speakers.
Yes.
Well, I'm on Annie's panel.
Yes, and that will be fun because you're doing the game show.
Yeah, Mike Eberhardt and Laura Kemp and Claire Fullerton, Betty Lee Crosby. Yeah, and Annie's got us all going. We've all got our attire, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And Mike is hilarious.
I've heard. But everybody here on this page right now is going to be featured. Everybody here. So share this post and get your fan base to sign up. You guys have book club members and fan base everywhere. They'd be crazy not, especially if they've ever wanted to be a writer, because we've got so much writer content. Doug's going to be doing a how to do an elevator pitch for your book. And that is the hardest thing in the world to do. So I can't thank Doug enough for doing that. But I've really worked hard on bringing something for everybody. And what you will be surprised is you're going to go away from this and you're going to be totally addicted, because please pray that we get to be together next year.
Because this is fun.
It's fun.
This is not dry. This is fun.
It is. And I'm at that place in my life where if it isn't fun, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you gone to an affair where you go, man, I wish I just stayed home in my pajamas and read a book.
Right.
I had a glass of wine and I'm all in this Spanx outfit and I'm uncomfortable. And I just think I want to get home, take the bra off, put on the pajamas. And quite frankly, you can kind of do that because
that's right.
This is only catching me. You have no idea what I have on down below. I'm like a newscaster.
Have Pat Conroy's pants.
Yeah, well, they're at the center now, so I don't have the pants anymore. But you never know what's going to be in that auction. I will tell you, though, Vince Spinato, who's one of my authors, is donating a $1,500 skincare system that he, caviar and champagne, that he is donating to the silent auction. That, oh my, I love to have. He's a chemist and he is, he's created beauty products for some of the biggest people in the world. And he's going to be joining us tomorrow. If you guys want to join us, he's at the plant in Boulder, Colorado, I believe. And he's going to be joining me wearing his Versace pajamas that he got in Dubai. So I said, of all the pajamas I've seen as the authors post them, I want yours. I don't care if they're men's. And he goes, well, next time I go to Dubai, I'll take you with me because they're Versace. And I go, well, I hope you have a good credit card. So, we'll see. I'll be wearing my Walmart jammies with the Christmas trees on them. Okay. I've got several switches of outfits.
Are you like an Academy Award person? You're going to keep changing pajamas?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm like the Cher of the book world. I want to have different costumes, wigs. Because people expect it. You never know. I mean, I've got this hair, but I've got a whole slew of wigs that I'll probably be slamming on my head just to keep things interesting. Because you can do. You can put on a raccoon on your head. If anything. I may have a raccoon on my head, but I
Live
a
raccoon.
couple of deer heads, so I might wear those. I'm just going to keep it interesting. So you're really not going to see me as much as you think, because I'm just going to introduce each
Thank God.
author. And you may just hear my voice because really the focus is on the authors, except for the panels I'm going to be hosting and introducing each author. But when you do see me, it will be entertaining. I can guarantee it. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Marilyn, I love you. And
Okay.
I will see you, because we're going to be doing another Zoom with the Blue Sky authors coming up. And that's next week. What day is it? I forgot.
On the 6th.
When is it, Pat?
It's on the 6th.
The
Yeah.
6th of January. We're going to be
Eastern time.
And I'll get with you, make sure I got it all correct and everything. I've got another one with Vince Spinato and Mickey Goodman tomorrow. I've got lots of stuff going on, you guys. So just watch that YouTube channel, because I'm posting them all there if you miss them. So
Great.
bless you all. Thank you. Namaste. We'll see you. Farmalinge. I'm speaking all this Indian because I've been watching all these Hindi films. You all, adios amigos. Let's have some fun. Okay.
Ciao, Bella.
Yeah, ciao, Bella. All right. And we'll see you down the road. And till next time, it's all about the story. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you.